You're from California. You were a district attorney here. You were a state attorney general here. You were a senator representing here. And you didn't know that the Latinos were going to say, yo, we don't like open borders? You didn't know that?
Yeah.
What do the Democrats want? If you ask them today, they still don't know. They said Kamala because it was too late to say anybody else. But you didn't know who they would say if there was a primary.
And also because the Democratic Party is ideologically captured by identity politics.
Stephen A. Smith has exposed what he believes is deep hypocrisy inside his own party and shown why he thinks the Democratic Party is falling apart from within. Across several explosive segments, he strongly criticized his own side for losing ground to Republicans. It was extremely powerful. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and many others were all called out in this intense breakdown. So hit that subscribe button, because we're jumping straight into it.
The arrogance of the second Democratic Party. So Biden doesn't decide to run for re-election. You grease the skid so he doesn't have to go through a primary. June 27th, he shows up and he embarrasses himself. And it positions naturally for the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, to ultimately ascend and become the Democratic nominee. But the last time we saw her in a primary, she couldn't make it to Iowa. Did you really think that was going to work? And then here's what you did. Did you discuss the economy enough? No. You could have discussed the border because unlike Obama, who was quote unquote the deported in chief, according to the Republicans, because he deported more immigrants than Trump did.
According to not just Republicans, but Democrats. There were Democrats who called him that.
He deported more immigrants than Trump.
And here is the uncomfortable truth that many people don't want to say out loud. Barack Obama deported more immigrants than Donald Trump ever did. But most Democrats never made a big issue out of it. Why? Because Obama did it quietly, without attention or headlines. It happened in the background, and the party stayed silent. But when Trump made illegal immigration a major public issue, loud, direct, and impossible to ignore, Democrats suddenly reacted with anger. There were protests, speeches, and strong public criticism everywhere. That is not really about principle. It is about politics. And this is exactly the kind of contradiction that Stephen A. Smith refuses to ignore. He does not follow party loyalty blindly. He speaks honestly, even if it hurts his own side. That is why many people respect him.
Biden walks into office and day one, you sign an executive order that opens the border, and you let more than 12 million immigrants cross the border illegally, and you don't think that's going to be a problem? You knew that the governors DeSantis and in Florida, Abbott in Texas, and others were going to sit up there and attack sanctuary cities by busing these immigrants to your city since you had no problem with it. You were ill prepared to deal with it, okay? All of this stuff was going on. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, so your plan for this election was to come to women and say, forget the economy, forget immigration. Roe v. Wade was overturned. It's now a states' right issue as opposed to a federal issue. You thought that was going to be enough?
According to Stephen A. Smith, Democrats entered the election without truly understanding what everyday Americans cared about. He blames Joe Biden and Kamala Harris directly, especially for allowing a large rise in illegal border crossings while not fully dealing with the results. This was not a small disagreement. It was a serious failure in leadership. Many people saw how fentanyl spread across the country, destroying lives and hurting families, a crisis that critics connect to weak border control and cartel activity. Communities were affected badly, and many feel Democrats ignored it. Trump, in contrast, took a hard stance on the issue and promised to restore order. Whether people agree or not, Smith says these uncomfortable truths still need to be said.
You thought it was going to be enough for you to look at black men and say to black men, you're misogynistic and chauvinistic, and that's the reason why you're not voting for Kamala Harris? You thought it was going to be enough for the Latinos to bring up immigration when you're not paying attention enough that the Cubans think different than the Dominicans, and the Dominicans and the Cubans think different than the Colombians, and they think different than the Venezuelans and the Guatemalans and the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of these Latinos in America want the borders closed. You didn't pay attention to that?
And here is the truth the Democratic Party still struggles to accept. Latino communities in America are not all the same. Mexican Americans, Dominican Americans, Venezuelan Americans, and others all have different cultures, struggles, and needs. They do not all think alike, and they do not all want the same policies. But Democrats, according to critics, treated them like one single voting group and built a simple strategy around that idea. That was not real representation. It was oversimplification. And many Latino voters noticed this. So when Republicans came forward with different messages, some voters listened. They were not changing their values. They were finally being treated as individuals with real concerns.
You're from California. You were a district attorney here. You were a state attorney general here. You were a senator representing here. And you didn't know that the Latinos were going to say, yo, we don't like open borders? You didn't know that?
Yeah,
and so I'm looking at it and I'm saying all of these things are going on. All of these things are going on. And your argument essentially was, you didn't say it, but this is essentially your argument. It's her turn. It's her turn. No, the Republicans don't play that. They say, hell with all of that, whose turn it is. We want him.
This mistake may have seriously hurt the Democrats in the election. Instead of having a strong competition to choose the best 2024 candidate, the party simply supported Kamala Harris. She had never been tested at the highest level and was not fully proven on the national stage. When people questioned this decision, they were not given clear answers. Instead, they were told it's her turn, as if leadership was something automatic. Anyone who raised concerns was quickly labeled unfair or sexist and pushed aside. Questions were shut down instead of answered. Critics say the party confused loyalty with smart strategy, and that choice ended up costing them badly when election results came in.
Democrats won. If you ask them today, they still don't know. They said Kamala because it was too late to say anybody else. But you didn't know who they would say if there was a primary.
And also because the Democratic Party is ideologically captured by identity politics.
And that leadership problem is very clear today. The Democratic Party, right now, looks confused and without strong direction. It keeps going back to the same names again and again without finding a strong new leader who can unite everyone. People often mention Bernie Sanders, AOC, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, and others. But none of them have truly separated themselves as a strong national leader. Critics say they all share similar woke political ideas, which limits variety. Newsom struggles with California's problems being used against him. Bernie Sanders faces age concerns, and many voters do not want another elderly president situation. AOC still has influence, but several mistakes have weakened her momentum.
On people like yourself and me who will vote liberal, but we're sensible. We're not extreme. We're not extreme.
That's why the election was lost.
You woke. Now you can. Now don't get me wrong. Inflation, immigration, of course. But that woke culture, they took the shit too far.
You got to watch my show. I know you don't get a chance to see it always. You have to see it Friday because
past Friday?
No, this current.
Oh, this current Friday. Okay.
Because my end piece is why I'm mad at the Democrats for just what you're talking about.
I should stay for the damn show. But rather than flying out, I should stay. I was planning on leaving.
Yeah.
And that is the key point many voters felt strongly about. A lot of people believed the woke political movement went too far, too fast. Everyday Americans, including working families, suburban voters, and independents, felt overwhelmed by constant cultural pressure, cancel culture, and changing definitions of basic ideas. They were not just asking for small changes, they wanted pushback against what they saw as extreme ideology. For some voters, Trump became that pushback option, not always because they fully supported him, but because they wanted someone strong enough to challenge the system. But the big question is, did Democrats learn anything from this? According to critics like Smith, not at all. they are still repeating the same approach.
Right.
Before he ran for president, he used to have these boxing matches, particularly during the Tyson fights at the Trump casinos. He would be at the Knicks games and stuff like that. And if we're being totally honest, all the brothers found him to be cool.
Right.
They found him to be very cool. So let's be clear, because he knew his sports, all right? He would say what he feel.
Right.
He bucked the establishment, which we love, and we gravitated to that. And obviously he was a billionaire.
Also he was a certain age.
And it was
you
cool.
get a certain
it was cool.
understanding that white men of that age, they're going to be a little grandpa. We don't say that anymore.
No,
but
like, him.
Is he really in his heart hateful? No, I think
I don't
think his motivation is I don't like black people. I think his motivation is everybody must love me.
Donald Trump has been called many harsh names over the years: racist, fascist, dangerous, and even a threat to democracy. Critics say these labels were repeated so often that many people accepted them without question. But now something interesting is happening. Some well-known liberals, like Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher, are pushing back against this extreme labeling. These are people who normally lean left, yet they are questioning their own side's narrative. That is very important. When critics from inside a political group start disagreeing with the group's extreme messaging, it shows something deeper is going wrong with the story being told.
Meanwhile, Democrats today have gone out of their way to post messages on social media about the current Trump administration and what's happening to American lives. The problem is they're all literally saying the same damn thing. Don't believe me? Check it out.
If I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of grocery, gas, housing,
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? You see what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there? You talk about something, people being tone deaf.
And here is another revealing moment. Democratic senators criticized Trump's promise to lower gas prices. That is normal political disagreement. But what stood out was how they all said almost the exact same thing, using nearly identical wording and phrasing. It sounded rehearsed, like a script being repeated by different people. If the criticism was truly personal and honest, each person would speak in their own voice. Instead, it looked coordinated and prepared. Because of that, many people saw it as political performance rather than real emotion. And what it suggests is even bigger. Critics argue that some politicians are more focused on protecting their image and careers than truly helping everyday Americans.
Chuck Schumer and the typical politicians, inflation is high. Oh, look at them pointing the fingers at the migrants. Oh, look at them blaming immigration. They don't care about you. Oh, by the way, they don't care about you. Well, why would you bother people from the LGBTQ community? Why would you bother folks with transgender and all this? Why would you do that? That is what the Democrats say. That's what most politicians would say. Here's Trump. They're pieces of shit. They don't give a shit about you. It's rigged. They've hoodwinked you all the time. They think you're a freaking joke. They give you the middle finger anytime they want to. Here's Trump. Fuck them. They ain't worth shit.
And that brings everything together. What Stephen A. Smith is doing is not just commentary, it is reflection. He is holding up a mirror to a political party that, in his view, needs to seriously rethink itself. The Democratic Party is not only struggling because of opponents, it is also struggling because of internal problems like poor messaging, weak candidate choices, and disconnect from voters. From ignoring concerns about immigration to pushing cultural ideas that many voters reject, the issues are growing from inside the party itself. And unless Democrats start having honest conversations and real self-reflection, nothing will change. According to critics, the party does not just need new ideas, it needs a new direction. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.